Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Facebook Live Ask Anthony on this Tuesday, the 12th of March 2019. For those of you in, I think it's Melbourne, hope you enjoyed the long weekend. For the rest of you that had to work, such is life. So we've been having a little bit too much fun today, hence why we're about 15 minutes behind schedule. But a topic I wanted to talk to today about, Again, I'm the CEO of Wealth for Life here. I consider myself an expert in the areas of wealth creation and real estate investment. And one of the subjects I want to talk to you about today is why, if all you aspire to have in life is, say, an income of $70,000 a year, and I've said it as part of the promotion, don't watch this video, because I'm really going to shatter that illusion that you have, right? And I'm really going to tell you how incorrect your mathematics or your assumptions are. Okay, now here's what I mean by that. One of the biggest disappointments I find when, and not disappointments in the people involved, but let's call it just disappointment in general, is how little planning people do when it comes to building wealth. Okay, retirement income. I mean, let's face it, guys. We all go to work to earn money. Okay, it's part of what we do. Hopefully, you have a bigger purpose in life than going to work just for money, right? But you want to live on planet Earth, you need money, and you need as much money as you can get your hands on. Okay. And if you're smart, you will use that money for really good things in life, okay? To look after yourself, right? To look after your family, your children, to look after your group, your team, your friends, and hopefully you leave a little left behind for the greater society and mankind and things that are important to you, like some charities, some churches, people that are less fortunate, right? And I constantly get the question of, how much money do we need to retire on? How much money will I need when I stop working to live a comfortable lifestyle? And if you listen to the TV commentators out there, they'll tell you that you need 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. I struggle to understand how these people have come to that conclusion, okay? Even if you stayed at home and never left the house, $70,000 is not enough money to live on, okay? Why do I say that? Okay, first of all, ask yourself this question: what kind of lifestyle do you want? Not for just you, but for everybody around you, right? Now, do the math. Most employers, if you look at salaries, right? Most salaries in the country of Australia, I'm talking about Australia, and I think it's actually the same all around the world. You may, and I stress the word may, get an increase in salary of maybe 2 to 3% a year if your employer wants to pass that on. Right. So a lot of people say, okay, great. Well, I'm on, $100,000 a year, and next year I'll be on 102, 103, and so on and so on and so on. Now that's all good, but what's the problem? Here's the problem. Everything else around you is increasing at a much, much greater rate, much, much greater cost. Okay? Let me give you an example. If you take your utilities bills, okay, gas, electricity, water, the necessities that you need in life. Heck, just take your mobile bill, right? Your internet spend. Have a look at the necessities that you need in life, okay, the things that are vital to you, and look how much they're increasing by every year. Now, don't take my word for it. Go look, go observe for yourself, okay? I did an exercise about 5 years ago where I took my utilities bills for the last 7 years, and I calculated an increase of approximately 10.8% per annum. So the cost of my electricity, water, gas, all the things that I needed to survive on and that were necessities were increasing at a rate of roughly 10 to 11% per annum. Now, if people's incomes are only increasing by 2 to 3% per annum, if at all, just graph this out. The gap between the cost of living and the gap between the money you earn from work is becoming wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. Then you factor in property prices, where prices of real estate are increasing at such an amount that your incomes cannot support, right? Investing in real estate or buying real estate. This is one of the reasons why serviceability now with banks is so important. Banks look at your income, they look at how much you pay on tax, then they calculate where all your expenses go. And then they look at what's left over, and the banks turn around and say, well, how can Johnny and Michelle afford a property when they don't make enough money? Okay? But how can they afford a property at $700,000 when they're only earning $70,000? Right? So you need to really have a look at how much money you think you need to survive on, okay? Because $70,000 is going to give you, I'm going to just call it straight, it's going to give you a miserable life, okay? I don't care, and I challenge anybody on this, okay? Even if you stay at home and don't leave the house and are glued to the TV and couch, $70,000 is not going to cut it. Things around you are becoming more and more expensive every year. Just try going shopping. My wife many years ago used this amazing analogy to describe inflation, right? She said, Anthony, 2 years ago, I'd go shopping at Safeway, which is a food outlet here in Melbourne. And with $100, I could walk out of Safeway with 5 shopping bags. Today, with $100, I only get to walk out of Safeway with 2 shopping bags, right? So things cost more, and our money buys us less, right? So you need to get your money to be working much, much harder just to keep up with everyday living, let alone having enough money to enjoy an amazing quality of life, an abundant lifestyle, having more than enough to go around. These days, people can barely get enough to actually even survive, let alone think in opulence and abundance, okay? $70,000, $80,000, and $90,000, you ain't helping anybody, let alone yourself, okay? Look at it like this, right? We've got, what happens as we get older, right? We need more maintenance for our bodies, more maintenance for the things around us, okay? Medical expenses become more, right? Trips to the doctor and to get taken care of become more. Medicine, we're using more medicine, right? Then we've got our beautiful children, and, as children are, they'll need some assistance, they'll need help, whether it be that they're getting married or they need their first car or whatever it is. It becomes another expense. Now, don't look at that as a bad thing. Use that as a reason to ask yourself, how can I actually attract more money? Don't use that as the reason why you don't have any money. Use that as the fuel, as the motivation to say, how can I actually pull in more money? Right? So you've got medical, you've got children. Then, because we live on planet Earth, there's always things that are unplanned. Pardon the pun, right? We do our best to plan our life, to plan our day, to plan our week, to plan our month. Bang, unexpected activity takes place. You get hit, your car gets hit, or you need new tires for your car, right? Or you get that insurance bill that you weren't expecting that comes on board, right? Or you get that rates notice that went to the wrong address, finally arrives, and wow, another $1,600, right? Things come out of nowhere, right? Because that's what life does, okay? And yes, do your best to be able to control what happens in your life and in your environment, but expect and plan for the unexpected, okay? Utilities are becoming more and more expensive. I've spoken about real estate prices, right? So you need to think much, much further than, what's the average income in Australia now? $82,500 a year, right? And that doesn't even factor in inflation, right? The pension's 24 grand, 33 grand for a couple. You need to really sit down and understand, if you're planning to live a long, long life and an exciting life, right? And a really good quality of life, take some time to sit down and work out how much you need, not just to survive. I mean, the average family needs about $35,000 a year just to cover the necessities. Water rates, council rates, gas, electricity, phone, petrol, car servicing, registration, food, hobbies, fares, transport, newspapers, magazines, laundry, medical insurance, holidays, just to barely get by, costs around $35,000, $36,000 a year. What about doing better than just getting by? Who the hell just wants to get by? Who wants to get to their deathbed and say, hey, great life, I just got by? Right? You need to really have a look. And I'm going to shatter this ridiculous illusion that people have out there. Hey, when I stop working, I only need 50 grand a year. Mate, you have no idea how far off the mark you are. And by the time you work it out, it's too late. Okay? And I'm not even saying that you should have an amazing quality of life, but these days, just to get by with the bare minimum is a hell of a lot more than what most people think. The reality is not enough people have sat down and done the maths, and by the time they work it out, that, hey, shit, I'm only planning for this much, but life costs me that much. By the time they figure it out, it's usually too late, okay? And it's very tough to unravel this or to peg this back. If you realize this for the first time in your 50s, or unfortunately even worse, in your 60s, there's very little you can do about it. And then you get sucked into these high risk investment schemes because you no longer have time on your side. Okay? So then you're asking money to do something that money's not comfortable in doing, and that's going to somebody very, very quickly that's never had a lot of money before, ever. That makes sense? Right? If you've never ever had a lot of money, chances are when you get given a lot of money in a really quick time frame, you won't be able to hold on to it, okay? Because you don't know how to manage it. And that's the reason why money never really stays with people that don't look after it, okay? So like any other type of energy, right? Money is nothing more than energy, right? So you need to understand how to actually accumulate it, right? How to pull it in, how to attract it, how to hold on to it. Okay, how to hold on to it, how to multiply it, how to invest it, how to grow it, okay? And how to actually get rid of it, okay? Because just holding on to money and doing nothing else but holding on to money is actually just as bad as actually getting rid of it all the time, okay? So you need to balance both out. You need to be able to hold on to a chunk of money, and you also need to be able to get rid of a whole lot of money, okay? Another conversation for another time, but have a look. The purpose of this video today is to really get an understanding and to get you to really to sit down and look at your finances and ask yourself, how much do you really need in your life when you stop working? In fact, why even wait till you stop working? Okay? $70,000, $80,000, if you've done your maths correctly, you will know, and especially when you factor in inflation, that's not enough, okay? You just have to look at life around you and how expensive it's becoming, and your income is not keeping up with that cost of living, okay? Especially when you're having to pay tax on an income, right? The money left over, I'll give you an example right here, actually, that's close to our heart. I had a staff member that just joined our organization in January, and he was looking at actually taking on a role as a sports teacher somewhere. And I asked the guy, I said, Nick, what's the most that you can ever earn? What's the most that you can ever earn as a sports teacher? I think in the field of sports education. I said, the best, who are the best at that field, and what's the most they could ever earn? He turned around and said $70,000 to $80,000 a year. I said, okay, great. Then I said, tell me, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? Well, I want to get a girlfriend, I want to have kids, I want to travel the world, I want to live in a nice house, I want to drive a nice car, I want to help my dad's charity, great. And I didn't have to get to the point of having to do the math. I said, how much would that cost? And how much would it cost? And if you're only earning $70,000, $80,000 a year and you're at the top of your game, how can you have both? Right? He quickly came to that realization that profession, whilst he may have been passionate about it, was going to leave a big gap in his life. He didn't want to let down his children to be, his girlfriend and wife to be, his next 40 years to be. He didn't want to let any of that down, okay? So have a look at what it is the kind of lifestyle. Map this out. My wife and I do this every year, and actually every month, just to make sure we're on track. Just map out your lifestyle, what you want in life, right? The things you want to have Then you work out the things you need to do, and then the things you need to be, okay? You start with what you want to have. And go wild on this. Don't play small. Go wild, right? I'm going to share something with you guys that we're putting together this amazing event for the end of the year. And we've gone after the biggest thing on the planet. We've gone after one of the biggest people on the planet. And I'm pretty certain we're going to pull this off. And this is going to just change our company, the entire industry. It's just going to knock the entire industry on its head. I can't share too much about it right now because I've got, I don't have anything concrete just yet, but this comes off, whoa, right? And this is another example of saying, you know what, why go for here when you can have here, right? So look at what you want to have, look at what you want to do, and look at what you need to be, okay? And then understand the type of money you need to be generating or creating or attracting to actually have those things. And I'm going to share it with you guys. Unless you want to freaking live in a cave or in a freezer, $70,000, $80,000 a year ain't going to cut it. So stop making these ridiculous, setting these ridiculous limitations on yourself. We have clients come in here all the time. Yeah, we can live off $50,000 a year. I'm like, how? Explain it to me. Do the maths for me. Tell me what you do when you get up in the morning and when you, between getting up in the morning and go to bed at night for 365 days a year for the next 20 years. Tell me how $50,000 a year is going to enable you, your family, your children, the people around you to live comfortably. Please show me. Nobody can. Okay? So I need you to start thinking a little bit bigger and getting a little bit more real to what you could actually earn. What's the point of getting to the age of 60 to realize, shit, I did the maths all wrong. I can't even live on what I was earning as an employee in retirement. And even if I could, what a miserable life I have, okay? I don't usually be this direct and this forward, but some of you guys need a nice wake-up call, okay? I see people on $200,000 a year that are just getting by, okay? Yeah, sure, that could be bad money management. It could be bad spending. Put it in the right priority, okay? Don't have money dictate the kind of life that you want. That's a sad way to do life. I only earn this much, so I can only play this big. You map out your life. You map out your beingness, your existence for the God knows. I hope you live forever, right? You work out what you want to do in life, what you want to have in life, and then you go out there and you create the money to support that, right? To attract the money, to accumulate the money that you need to support that, okay? That's the way you do life, okay? And you'll realize that if you're on planet Earth, right, $70,000, $80,000 a year ain't gonna cut it, seriously, unless you want to sit in a freezer for the rest of your life, okay? And I'm not trying to be funny here, okay? I understand life. I understand the cost of living, okay? I understand what's involved in having a smile on my face, okay? I understand what's involved in being able to help myself and myself first, my family, my team, my group, right? The society in general. I understand what's involved, okay? 70,000, 80,000, even 100,000 a year is not going to cut it, okay? It's just, we live in a society and we play to a system here that doesn't work, okay? And the whole reason behind you believing that you need $70,000 a year is because you're always dependent on somebody else being able to help you, okay? Don't lower yourself to match your income. Get your income to match your life, to match your vision, to match your goals, to match your purpose, to match your lifestyle, okay? So hit me up with some questions, guys. If you disagree with me, if you think that I'm crazy or crazier, right, hit me up. Tell me so, okay? Because this is what it's all about. It's all about sharing and it's all about engagement and it's all about communicating back and forth. And I want somebody out there to actually give me a demonstration, an example of how somebody can actually get by in life in the year 2019 on $70,000 a year, okay? I haven't seen it. I don't think I am going to see it. And I challenge anyone to actually put that on the table in front of me. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Ask Anthony Facebook Live. We love doing this. What we love even more is your engagement, is your comments, is you sharing it. Guys, hang in there with us. We have got some amazing stuff coming up in the next few weeks. I'm going to talk about some subjects that are considered taboo in our industry. Really going to shake things up with regards to real estate, the media, the banks. I'm going to tell you some stuff that most banks actually don't even want you to know. It'll change your whole viewpoint on what money means and how to get money out of the banks. But you know what, guys? Put your attention on what I've just shared with you, okay? Have a look at really how much money you need to get by and sit down and do the math. Now, if you need some help in doing this, give us a call. In Melbourne, in Australia, 1300 793 877, or go into our website, wealthforlife.com.au, or send us an email or post in the comments below on Facebook, and come in and have a chat to us. We're very good at what we do, okay? Don't believe us, talk to our customers, right? We're very good at what we do, but we can certainly help you map out what life can look like for you, okay? And how much money you're going to need to run that life, okay? We've got some amazing tools to enable you to do that. And if all you do is walk away knowing that, hey, to live this lifestyle, I'm going to need that kind of income, you've won. And heaven forbid, you want to work that out now whilst you can, as opposed to when you get later on in life when you can't do anything about it. All right? So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And